As a multiple season top 500 player, I'm here today to teach you guys Namor in Marvel Rivals. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Why the fuck would I need a Namor guide, Kingsman? This character is the most basic character in the entire game. Well, you're wrong! He's actually an extremely complex and well-rounded character. Namor has a total of 5 abilities, all based off of his primary attack. When Namor attacks, he throws out a trident that does about 140 damage when hitting somebody in the head and 70 in the body. If he has his squids down, the squids automatically lock onto the target when you hit them. Which brings me into the next and most important part of Namor's kit. Is squids. Namor has 2 squids total with a 20-second cooldown. Now, something that a lot of people don't know is you can put these squids anywhere. On walls, on height, or just on the floor. The most important thing to usually do is put them wherever the enemy will have a tough time shooting them, but they can also still get a lot of value in a less obvious position. His passive is that whenever he gets a hit with anybody on his trident, whether it's a headshot or a body shot, his cooldown for his squid actually goes down, which means he can put squids up even faster if you're actually hitting your shots on this character. His team up with Hulk literally being a special beam cannon and completely lasering anybody who comes in contact with it on a fixed cooldown, by the way. Yes, a fixed cooldown. His passive does not proc on the team up. This is very important. Namor's next ability, his bubble, is where he goes completely immortal. And by the way, you can do this while you're earthbound or while you're under any other status effects, as long as it isn't a hard CC, obviously. And when you bubble as Namor, for 2 whole seconds, you are completely immortal and block all damage shot at the bubble. You can move this bubble up or down, although it is extremely slow. And you can also get healed through it by your healers, so please bubble when you're in a good position to get healed. This bubble can also block ultimates, and mainly Magneto's ultimate. Please, and I mean please, use this to protect your healers, although some of them may be really stupid and walk like not behind the bubble, but I promise you, you can get some really satisfying ult cancel. Next up is Namor's trident, and no, not just his regular basic attack, but his spear that he throws out allows his turrets to go into berserker state. When you land this spear, or if you miss this spear, it's a small AoE splash, and after you hit somebody with a target, squids will automatically lock to the target, except this time they'll enter a berserker state and fire faster and do more damage. This also happens with the gamma squid, which is even more of a laser beam after landing the berserker trident. It's basically an extension of his basic attack, so you should always be attacking and then throwing a berserker trident after. But put your squids up first to get that extra burst of damage. But that's about it for all of the basics of Namor, so let's move on to the best part of Namor's kit. Namor's ultimate, aka Pearl from SpongeBob, is one of the strongest ultimates in the entire game. Whether you use it alone, combo it with people, or just completely whiff the ultimate, this will always get value. Especially with the new buff where they increase the radius, or quote-unquote rework, where they slightly decrease the damage. That radius increase means you're hitting this ult almost 100% of the time. This ultimate is one of the best combo ultimates in the entire game. You could use it with Emma ult, Groot ult, Thing ult, any ult in the game, and it will always get an instant kill because the center radius of the ultimate does 500 damage. On top of that, the ultimate charges extremely fast, so you are getting ults that can insta-kill people out of their ults practically infinitely throughout fights. Oh yeah, did I not mention something? It also earthbounds them, so they can't use a movement ability to run away. Even if you don't hit them in the direct center, one spear and a trident will be enough to instantly kill anybody who didn't get hit by the direct center of the ult, because they are stunned on the floor. Same thing goes for ulting a cloak and dagger out of her ult. It's very similar to when you ult a cloak and dagger out of her ult with a strange ult on dash 4. If your team just looks at her, she dies. One really important thing to note is the fact that this can be blocked by Loki greens, mag bubbles, and shields. So you really have to bait out these abilities before you use your ultimate, like a Hulk shield or any other shields, because your ultimate will end up getting wasted entirely by these bubbles. So bait them first and then ult. So let's move on to the next part of Namor. I f***ing hate gamma games. They are a literal cancer on this earth to Marvel Rivals. But it's okay. That's why I learned Namor, so I could adapt to these horrible situations. But Namor is not just viable in Gamma. His character is so strong right now after these new changes that you can literally run him without Hulk. And honestly, I prefer those even more. This is why Hulk has been permabanned literally every season. The damage output with Gamma is literally so high that you can play any playstyle you want on Namor. Whether you want to frontline, you want to spam down a choke, or you want to flank. You can do all three. However, I don't really recommend playing flanking Namor as much in higher elo, especially because if the supports have like even an iota of a brain cell, they're just gonna ping you and you're gonna get completely murdered considering you have no escapability besides your bubble. But it'll definitely work in low elo. You can just shred people with those turrets. A lot of people say Namor is an anti-dive character, and he is, but that mostly depends on where you put your squids. Like sometimes people will put the squids in the front, and obviously to deal damage down the choke. But if you know there's a diver, just put your squid in a really, really awkward position in your backline so you can peel for your supports without doing anything. So you can automatically get value just by doing that. And if you hit your trident down the front line, your berserker turret will actually shoot the diver because they can't shoot at anybody in the front line, they have to shoot at the diver. So you can peel without even peeling. Namor is literally the only character in the game who can do this. By the way, guys, this character unironically does take a lot of skill because of your aim. You can get 10 times the amount of value with better placement of turrets and better aim compared to every single other character if you have good aim on Namor. But if you don't have good aim on this character, he is ass. His turrets come back really slow, they barely deal any damage, and they're really easy to break, and they deteriorate on their own. So if you're not hitting shots on him consistently, don't pick him up, because I promise you, you won't be putting in the value that you're expecting out of Namor. The new update increased his speed from 120 meters per second to 150 meters per second, which is a crazy 25%, can I do math? I don't know. Boost to his speed, which basically makes him practically a hit scan character. Namor and Bucky share extremely similar values where if you don't really have that frontline damage with yourself, you're not really going to be solo killing people as much, but you do have the potential to carry if you get 2-2-2 comp with Namor or 3-2-1 comp with Namor. A lot of times what really makes the difference in the game is those ultimates and baiting out those cooldowns, because if you don't do that, the character's kind of useless. This doesn't mean you should sleep on Namor's damage though, because he can really solo carry these games if you're hitting your shots, which is something that a lot of these Namor mains do not understand when they play this character. He inherently brings a small amount of value to the table and is great, of course, when you have purpled whales by Luna ult, or damage boosted by Mantis, or Rocket Raccoon, or Gamma team up, but it really is not the same effect as having really good aim and target prioritization. My personal advice to anybody who wants to play this character is play him in quick play at least a little bit first. Don't just first time him in ranked because Gamma is open and you're like, oh, I'm gonna mirror the other Namor because he has Gamma. There are plenty of other ways to counter Namor, like Spam, Moon Knight, Squirrel Girl, even Iron Man are really annoying if the Iron Man is good or if the other people really mastered those characters. Don't just hop on this character expecting to get value by doing nothing. You really do have to pay close attention to those cooldowns and where you're standing when you use these ultimates. It's not as simple as it seems in hindsight. But that's about it for Namor. Again, I suggest you learn every single character to get the maximum level of value in your games. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out the other ones I've listed below and my other guides, and I will see all you guys in the next one. Please like and sub. Please, I beg of you, literally nobody subscribed. Bye!